Well, it doesn't feel like spring is coming because it's 30 degrees in mid-March here in Ohio. My chickens don't like to come out of the coop when it's snowing for the most part. They'll come out to explore a little bit, but it's cold on their little feet. So they do like to hang out inside the run, and they do get bored in there. You know, because there's not a whole lot to do, especially if you're a chicken and you're stuck inside when you'd rather be scratching in the grass. So today I'm gonna make them a treat that they are gonna be able to pick at, and it'll keep them busy. I'm gonna be making them some muffin blocks to give them something to do. Sometimes I make them like what I call Nikki's chick brick, and in that one I do add a lot of extras that can be considered treats, but these ones are just gonna be made from mostly their feed. I'm Nikki, welcome to Purely Chickens. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok as well. And today I'm gonna show you how to do this. Down in the caption, you're gonna find the recipe for this if you just wanna skip ahead. Treats can really dilute their nutrition, so I'm using their feed to make these. That way they're still getting the balance that they need, and especially if this is all they're gonna eat today. The feed I'm gonna be using is one of the feeds I feed my chickens anyway. This is Scratch and Peck Feeds. It's organic. This one is the whole grain mash, and it's the grower mash. I do have a rooster in my flock and some chickens who are not laying age yet, so the grower is the best one for us, but you can also get the laying mash if you prefer that one. I do like to feed them the crumbles. This one, the mash, is good for recipes like this, and it's also really great for fermenting. I have a code with Scratch and Peck. It's down in the caption if you want to check them out. I highly recommend them. We love this feed. I'm also going to be using blackstrap molasses in this recipe. This has been known to improve the health of chickens. There's some really essential vitamins and nutrients in here, and it's actually in commercial feed anyway, so we're going to use this to help bind the treats together. And the final ingredient is actually going to be provided by the chickens themselves. So we're going to be using eggs in this as well, a great source of calcium because we're going to put the shells in there as well as protein. All right, the first thing we need is 5 cups of the feed. Now you can use any chicken feed with this. You can use crumbles, you can use pellets, or you can use a whole grain mash. This whole grain mash kind of looks like scratch feed. I do want to caution you that scratch feed is not balanced out for actually what the chickens need. It doesn't have the proper nutrients. It's kind of just a treat. So this is actual feed that is balanced out exactly for what the chickens need. All right, a cup of molasses is gonna go in here. I actually usually don't measure this. I did for you guys, but I hate how much sticks in there. So I usually just dump it in and kind of eyeball it. You really can't mess this up. All right, and then I'm just gonna dump them in, shells and all. I'm using the really large muffin tins. Even though it's nonstick, this one's kind of older, so I am gonna spray it. You can also just use muffin cups as well. And this is just regular olive oil. You can use coconut oil. Okay, nice and sprayed, and then I'm just gonna fill it up. I'm just gonna fill these up, and then I'm gonna press them down as much as I can. All right, while those are baking, I'm just gonna clean up a little bit. Hey, if you have not checked out yet my book, it's linked down below. I actually have a book coming out in May of 2023. If you're watching this past then, it's already out and you can go grab it now. But if you are watching it before then, you can pre-order it, which I would really, really appreciate. So go check it out. It's a great book for people who are just getting started with chicken keeping and people who have had chickens before. All right, I just took them out of the oven. I'm gonna let them cool. It took about 15 minutes to cook these at 350. They're sizzling. When you push on them, they're still soft, but we're gonna let them set up for a minute. All right, here's what they look like complete. They're a little warm still, so they're not all the way set up, but that's okay, I couldn't wait. You can freeze these as well. I'm just gonna go give them to my flock now. All right, I'm just taking them out to my flock. Actually warmed up a little bit, so they are kind of free ranging, but I'm gonna hide them inside their run so they can find them later. What are you doing, ladies? You're already curious of what's going on up here. I'm hiding treats for you. All right, so I'm just gonna put them in places that they might find them, not all in one bowl because I don't want them to eat them all in one bite. Well, that didn't take long, Sarah. You found that pretty quick. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, as you can see, I kind of hid a couple, placed them throughout the run. Good girl. Oh, a bunch of them found that one. I've got some in there. The only one they haven't found yet is this one in the middle of the garden bed. So just so you know, we built on to our run in the middle of winter, actually, on like a nice week. So this whole part here is new for our run, and this is old. So this part still has sand in it. This part over here needs sand, so it'll be better. So I put a garden bed in here. This is from Epic Gardening, and it's obviously not level or planted or anything like that, but I'm working on making my run a really cool place for my chickens to hang out. And one of the things I'm adding this year is a garden, but for right now, it's a hiding spot for the treat block.